Now, I've got all those divs put in. I think I got them all. And so what we're going to get started with now is putting in the nav section, which will be a lot like the section that you created at the top of the Bears page, but we're going to have more sections. So as an internal doing this nav work will create structure and turn it from just a document into something that works like an HTML web page. Okay, so I've gone ahead and put in this nav bar the different sections of this paper. So there's I put in a spot that's for the top, the actual very top of the paper, a section for a div called introduction, a section for the div called historical context, which is that chunk of the paper, the chunk that is called population and technology changes, the distribution of new knowledge, farming's influence on education, and then finally the notes and the work cited. These will be the links that we're doing to create the different sections. So the top is right where we are. So the first thing that we'll do to create that section is we create the ID, and ID equals top in quotation marks sets the idea of this spot so that this is actually an anchor and a place that we can link to. So since that's an anchor, right, to create that link, we do the anchor hypertext reference equals, and then inside there we put the hashtag and then the word top. And so there you have your anchor, just like an anchor link for a web page, and then you close that anchor, right? And so we've got a link here that goes to that first section, right? So this will be something that we can use as when you hit the back button, it will take you back to the top of the page. So we created an ID for this block level unit. Our next move is to create a block level unit for a div called introduction. So our introduction starts just above the title and goes for those first two paragraphs. So we got a div that goes from here to here, and inside there we'll put ID equals introduction. Whoops, but you gotta spell it right. Introduction, right? Now that we've got this part marked as the introduction, we'll go back up here, and you can save yourself a lot of time by copying your code and pasting it back in so you don't have to type the whole thing out again. So we paste in that link, but instead of top this time it's going to be introduction. Now my pattern for how to do this is to make sure that I use the when I fill in the ID, I make sure I don't uppercase it, so I can just sort of what will be inside here, the hashtag with the lowercase version of that anchor for the page. So now if I say save at this point, right, and I've got this one started, so I can show you, if I just double click here, it will bring it up in the browser, and you see what doing those, the H1, put the title here, doing those line breaks compressed the MLA style header here at the top. And notice that doing the H1, H2, H3, H3, and then I didn't do it all the way through, so this is the way things would have looked if I didn't convert those to H3. So when I'll go through, I need to go back through and do this because I thought I had done that, but I missed that one. Notice that Oh, and I got the notes in the works cited, but I got to go back and catch these. But then once you have those things set up, now we've got this nav bar going, right? And the top won't do anything because that just takes us right where we are. But if we hit introduction, it should drop us to right there. And so that's the way these links will work. And every time you make a change and save, you can go back and reload that preview, and it'll show you as you sort of make progress, putting through and creating the different sections of the paper and coming up with headings. Now, if your paper isn't broken up into chunks, then you're going to want to think about what are some groupings of several paragraphs that I can do to create structure in this paper. And don't worry too much about it as far as, because we're going to be, once we create this basic sort of structure, then we're going to take a look at those chunks and do some more thinking about, right, which chunks do you want to use for the more developed website. You're not going to necessarily use the whole paper, but for this version, we're going to basically put in structure and link everything together so that we have something comparable to the Bears website, right, in this one, and that's our goal for our step 2. Okay, so I've gone in and put in the ID tags and these at the other divs in the rest of the document. So what I'm going to do is just copy this first link here and paste it for each one of these spots. And then I'm going to replace the introduction part. Maybe I'll go ahead and do the copying and pasting of the close of the anchor here. Okay, and so this last one will be works cited. This one will be notes. Whoops, I have to watch it. It went ahead and auto-corrected a capitalization there, so you want to be careful that it doesn't catch you on that. So I'm working my way down, so or up. So there's the works cited, notes, then conclusion. Let's see. Oh, I didn't put conclusion in here yet. All right, so we need to do conclusion. Say, close that, space, and then put a vertical bar there before each of these, and then I'll just copy that and paste it in there. Conclusion. Oh, I did it again. All right. All right, for influence and education, what did I put there? Just education and distribution knowledge. Okay, so here, education. And then distribution knowledge. And then I believe population dash technology. And historical context with a dash. Okay, so now what we have inside this navbar is a set of links to each of these IDs of the divs that make up the different sections of the document. I'm going to go ahead and hit save, and then we'll give this a preview. And now you can see, so I'm just loading it off of my computer. I haven't uploaded it or anything yet, but you can see across the top here the links to the different parts, and we can test them out and see historical context. That works. Population technology changes. That works. Distribution of new knowledge. Influence on education. Farming's influence on education. Conclusion. Right. And another thing to note there is that conclusion, notes, and works cited, those are all not H3s but H2s, right? Just so, and then so there's the notes, goes to the notes, goes back. Oops, I made a mistake. So here the works, the cited part is not right. So I'm going to click back here and look. Oh yeah, somehow I put the word cited, or maybe I misplaced the anchor when I did it. So we'll delete that. Save. Right, and I did save, so now I can go back to the web browser and reload. And when I reloaded, then my link is back together. All right, so we've got the first set of our structuring, which is building in these links, and we've built in sections, so you can see how the highest level heading, second level heading, third level heading, third level heading, third level heading, conclusion, and then the notes and the works cited. So there's still a few things we're going to do to work on. We're going to be going in and showing how to do the links for the notes and for the works cited page. And so I'll get started on those in just a second.